Blog Talk Radio.
Hello, everybody. Thank you for tuning into the show. This is your host, Morgan, and I've got my co-host / guest, Bryan from Geckos. Bryan, you want to say hello?
Hello, everybody.
So tonight we've got the 7th anniversary of Late Night LEOS, 7 long years of the show being on. I know this year we've only had like 3 or 4 episodes, but it's still fun to have that to back up on. So, Bryan, how's your season been going?
It's been really busy. finally slowed down. Last eggs hatched a few weeks ago, and looking forward to a little break before next season starts.
Yeah, next season in about a month.
Yeah, I was just looking at a female, and she's looking kind of plump, so maybe sooner than I expected.
Yeah. So, you got any news, Bryan? Any cool projects you got going on this year that you're going to be breeding next year?
Well, this year basically is the second year I've really been into this breeding. Last year just had a couple of pairings. This year really paired some different stuff. Couple of the things I was most excited about the outcome, I did an Enigma and a Blood Emerine cross, and got a couple really nice Emerine Enigmas from that. 2 nice Emerines, a couple cool Tangerine ones, and one of the Geckos the gecko that I'm giving away tonight is actually from that pairing. Really nice colors on those animals. The blood orange is really starting to show through on those, and looking really good. That was that's been pretty fun. Didn't get that many animals from that pairing. This is the first year she bred. I think I got six eggs from that. 4 of them being Enigma. Actually, no, it was 7 eggs. 4 of them being Enigmas, 2 Emerines, and then a Trimper. So that turned out pretty good. Looking forward to pairing that up because, again, those Enigmas turned out really cool.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, they're pretty neat. You'll be getting one of those pretty soon. So.
Yeah, I can't wait.
I just got to decide which one. Every time I think I decide on which one I'm going to send you, I can't make up my mind. But another project that I've been working on for the last 2 years, this was the second year. I did a pairing, a raptor to just a super hypo tangerine last year. Got some pretty cool offspring from that. Kind of calling it an Emerine project because, they've got nice greens and really interesting oranges and stuff in them. This year, I took 2 of the females that I produced last year, bred them back to the raptor male, and gotten some really nice offspring from those guys. Got a couple of really cool broken stripe Trimpers that are just really orange. The color on those guys are really nice. The
Emerine project, is that the Emergreen project you're working on?
That started as a joke because I was told I couldn't call them Emerines because they didn't come from the man. So it's kind of a joke amongst friends, but basically, nice tangerines with green coloration in them. Some cool broken stripes. We'll really see that the 2 really cool ones that I got from that project this year is I produced 2 Eclipses that have a really nice orange color to them, and I've tried to take pictures to really capture the picture or capture the color of them, and it just doesn't do it justice. It's this weird greenish orange over their whole body. They're patternless, and they're really cool. I produced 2 of those. And a couple nice raptors, from that too, that have nice color. So it's a fun little project. I want to see where it goes. I'm holding on to most of the offspring, if not all of these, for a while to see how they develop, because this is kind of a newer project and, kind of a line breeding project. So I kind of want to see how they develop as they get bigger. But so far so good. Some really interesting colors with it. Some a little different. So.
Yeah, they do look definitely awesome. We do have a caller. If you want to take a caller, we have Dr. Chan on the line. You want to take a caller, Bryan?
Sure, why not?
All right, Dr. Chan, you're on the air.
Oh, something wrong. How's
Hello.
it going? What's up, Bryan, Morgan? How you guys doing, man?
Good. How's it going,
I told
Jeff?
Morgan not to let you on the line. That's all you were saying.
Oh, well, he cheated.
Well, thanks for calling, Jeff. It's good to talk to you.
Okay, bye.
All right. You can't win the Geckos, sorry.
No, God, that's what I need, more geckos, right?
Well, if you win it, I'm sending you 6. No.
All right. But I get to see you like 20.
So we do have a question in the chat if you guys want to take a question.
Sure.
People are asking, what do you think about Katie Brown in that whole situation this week?
Katie Brown?
Jeff, have you seen that viral post going around Facebook? It was the lady that put duct tape around her dog's mouth to keep it from barking.
Yeah. I kind of looked at that, and I didn't look into it. It disgusted me, so I just scrolled past it.
Yeah, the funny thing I saw is after everything blew up, the lady didn't even take the post off her Facebook wall. So, yeah, she made a post that she made the original post of the dog with the duct tape around its mouth. Said that'll teach it from not barking. People freaked out, and then she wrote back later, it was only on for 60 seconds, and it hasn't barked since. The dog is okay. I love my dog. And even her closest friends seemed to be pretty disgusted by it. So
yeah,
it looks like they were trying to locate her for arrest. So
that's a good thing my geckos don't talk, because I have duct tape, man.
You must not have any tokays.
No, not yet.
They can be pretty loud.
Though. I love tokays. They're cool.
Hey Morgan, have you seen any update on that lady? Like, have they located her? Do you know?
No, I think that the police are still looking for her, and the news is looking for her.
I mean, what a moron, though. I mean, you're going to do something that awful and post it to social media. I mean, that stuff spreads really quickly. I think it was like over 10,000 shares within a matter of hours. Yeah, I mean, that day, within hours. Wow, yeah.
Good Lord.
Yeah. She's an idiot for multiple reasons, so hopefully they'll catch her and, do something to her.
You think like a duct tape company would pick it up for like free advertisement or something?
I don't think they'd want that. Well, I mean, I've followed some rescues and stuff that have rescued dogs that have been, actually duct taped long term, and it does a lot of damage. I mean, people don't think what it does mentally to that animal, and pretty ridiculous.
I can't watch those rescue shows where like the chain is ingrown to the animal's neck and stuff. And stuff all the time. I just
videos.
I can't. That's terrible. How do I get in the chat room?
How did you get in there? I don't know. Oh, she was arrested.
Oh, they busted her, huh?
Yeah, she was charged with animal cruelty.
Yeah, I know they were looking for her in like 2 different states, so that's why it took so long to find her. So it was like strangely Connecticut and Florida, like, So. Well, good.
Yeah. Don't ever do that to your animals.
Don't ever post it on Facebook.
Yeah, those shock collars people use? Those are inhumane too. I don't like those. There's some lady up here that has one that she takes her dog for a walk, and the dog will bark at a squirrel, and then all of a sudden it's yelping, and I see her pushing a little shock button.
I mean, there are ways to train your animal better than that.
Yeah, that just isn't cool at all.
Your animal's never going to learn if it doesn't trust you and it thinks you're going to hurt it, So positive reinforcement, I think, would work better than the negative, but that's just my train of thought.
You just have to get to know your animal and communicate with it. I don't think battery-operated shockers would do it. All righty then. So how's that Immergreen project going?
Yeah, we were just talking about that. Jeff is the one that just started the joke and labeled them the Immergreens, and we just kind of ran with it. Don't need to make the leopard gecko world mad labeling my animal somebody else's trade name, but
yeah.
It's a redneck.
Green. I promise, they're green.
It's a redneck Immergreen. Immergreen.
Right. It kind of caught on. Now it's just funny. So
I know.
But no, it's going really good. Like I said, the colors I can't wait to see. The two raptors that hatched, the actual, true raptors that hatched from it, are looking really good.
The green stain in there?
Yeah, it's kind of that greenish hue is definitely there. Like I said, it's really hard with these to capture that, which, I'm taking pictures with my iPhone, so which has a pretty decent camera, but some of these colors, I'm going to try if, it kind of sucks right now. The weather's been crummy and cold, but I wanted to try to get some good natural light pictures of both them and the eclipses, because their color is just, it has like a sheen to it, like in some lights it looks yellow, but when you kind of move them, when they move a certain way, you see that green hue underneath. It's kind of pretty neat.
Iridescent lime glowing thing?
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah. No, I seen the pictures you showed, and I could see it on there, but you couldn't see it on there.
Yeah.
Because I know I try to take pictures of the greens I have in some of these over here, and it doesn't come out. The tangerines do, but the green gets lost in the translation.
I'm kind of seeing that the ones that have like the kind of stripy ones and with the broken stripes, some of those stripes, they started out black, now they're faded to this kind of reddish color, and then that'll eventually be what turns into the green. That tends to show a little better. Like you can just see that a little better because it's not that, like I said, like that kind of sheen to it that the eclipses have. It's just a little bit different. So it's pretty neat that the two trimpers with I hatched three tangerine trimpers from this pairing, and they're just like crazy orange. Like it's the orangest trimpers like that scene, and it's just as they grow, instead of fading out, they're actually getting darker and more orange. So it's pretty nice. I hope it sticks, and it's not just not just a phase with them, but we'll see.
Yeah, you know how I like them orange geckos.
Yeah. Oh, Jeff, if you go through the link on your Facebook page, you can join the chat.
Let me see if I can do it. I'm like computer literate and everything, and I'm good on these computation devices. Let me see.
What other projects are you working on, Bryan?
This year I did another like raptor pairing, so I've got a lot of eclipses from that. I did a raptor to like a hypo eclipse. Got some pretty nice, like really light colored animals, like very, pastel coloration. And when I say pastel, I mean like Easter egg pastel, like, light kind of peachy yellows and stuff. So that's pretty cool. I did a bold snow cross to an eclipse. So I got a few interesting kind of Mac eclipse from that. was really hard. This pairing was actually quite challenging for me because telling the snows from the non-snows were a little odd. Some of the clips I knew right away weren't, but there were a couple that are questionable that as they've grown out a little more, I'm pretty positive they're looking a lot more snow. But they didn't hatch out your standard like black and white snow MAC snow colors. And then the other project, I did a couple of marble eye pairings. I did my male visual marble eye to two different females, one of them being a lavender het marble eye, and got some pretty cool babies from that. I got a couple nice babies that are looking like they're going to hold the lavender. I got big lavender bands, not much spotting coming in, so that's pretty cool. The other pairing I did to a really nice tangerine. All those babies are nice and bright orange, holding color really well. I produced a couple of really nice visuals. Got a really, really nice trimper marble eye out of that, hatched with the solid red eyes. Are holding that, starting to crack, look really cool. I got a couple of those from last year also. So next year, goal is to probably pair up a visual to a visual and get more, just highly visual marble eyes. A couple of mine it's really hard to tell because they started out looking, solid black eyes, and as they get bigger, it's fading out. So they're going to be a lower expression. It's going to be a little harder to tell till they're bigger. But I got one from last year that you've seen it attached with solid black eyes. It looked like a black eye eclipse, and it's it's a year old now, and its eyes just look crazy. No distinct pupil you can see in it, but it's fun. It's very interesting. I posted pictures on my page of some of those, so we'll see about that next year. Hopefully these lavenders will hold the color well, and we'll see where that goes.
Yeah, it's cool you're getting a lot of the solid-eyed stuff.
Yeah, I was lucky last year. Out of that pairing that I did, I got one solid-eyed trimper and one solid-eyed, normal, and they both are really have really, really cool eyes. The trimper, in the marble eye and the trimper, you can definitely tell it's way different than anything you'll see in Eclipse. The normal is definitely different, but I could definitely see how people could confuse it. But you can definitely tell it has a different texture and dimension to the eye than some of the Eclipse stuff that I've hatched. It's definitely different, but and they hold that color. Their body coloration's totally different than Eclipse. But I got pretty lucky with having the high expression two hatched last year. I had a male and a female, and then this year I got a couple more. So hopefully I'll have a nice high quality visual marble eye group for next year or the year after. Haven't decided. Yeah. I got to figure out what I'm going to do next year.
Yeah. I really like how some of the marble eyes are getting like a 3D kind of look to the eye.
Yeah. That's how the normal looks. Like it almost looks like it has, the black is almost on the lens, and then the deeper part of the eye is textured, so it's like you see texture under the black color, which is, when you see an Eclipse eye, it's just, if it's solid black, it's solid black, Yeah,
it's like the Eclipse, the color, the pigment is on the actual lens of the eye, but like in marble eye, it's like a cloud inside of, like the clear part right before you get to the pupil, you know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, and the veining behind it is definitely different. It's not like, some of the veining you'll see in like Eclipse and stuff. It's totally different. It's pretty cool. Definitely a underrated gecko, I think. You just don't see many people out there working with them, and I don't know. It's been kind of fun. I haven't really I've been holding on to the really high expression ones, and hopefully we'll get some more of those next year or soon. So.
Yeah. Yeah. So we do have another caller. You want to take another caller?
Sure.
All right. Caller from the 310, you're on the air.
Hello?
Did you just put me on the air, Morgan?
Who is this? Eric?
Yeah. I'm ordering pizza. I muted it, and you put me on the air. Go figure. I should have known that was going to happen.
You want me to mute you?
No, it's all good. What's going on? I can sign
Eric, you're alive.
I am alive, man. I am alive. I've been on the down low a little bit. So how's it going, Bryan?
I think everybody's been pretty quiet lately. It's good to hear from you.
Yeah. Same to you guys. I was glad to see it come back. To be honest, I was busy and forgot. And then I saw the post, and I was like, oh, I'm only 6 minutes late. Sweet. So that's why I called you. I kept reminding myself and then ended up forgetting. So it's all good. Hold on. Here you go. So it sounds like you got good projects going, Bryan.
What's that?
Said it sounds like Bryan has good projects going.
Yeah, lots of things here and there. It got a little busy this year, especially in the midst of my season. I had a work injury, so that kind of put a damper on things for several weeks.
I saw that injury. Everything good though now?
Yeah, I'm all good. So, but yeah, so that put everything kind of in the midst of breeding season. I luckily had a lot of friends to come over and help me clean baby bins and keep it going, and didn't have any problems with that, so kind of got lucky.
Right on. Yeah, that's definitely my room luck right there.
The gecko room is definitely full though, so got to get some posted up and get them out of here.
Yep, I feel you. My gecko room sadly is rather empty, but I gotta redo it and reorganize and.
Well, I was going to ask, did you pair anything up this year? I know you were moving and stuff.
Nope, didn't pair anything up, didn't want to, so it's a whole new room, and I've been trying to figure out how to control temperatures in there and all that other good stuff, and my gecko room now is basically my son's bedroom, so I got less space than I had before, but it's all good.
Your racks were in your bedroom before, right? You were having to share space.
Yeah, basically, when they were in, because I was just doing it out of my bedroom. The way the room was laid out was more ideal for it. Now, in this other room, it's not exactly ideal. So,
I got lucky. My old roommate moved out, so I just took over his room and put shelves up everywhere and filled it up.
There you go. Yeah, eventually one day I got a shed out back. Gonna take that down. Girlfriend's dad is an architect, so maybe I can get him to kind of design me a gecko room / shed. So that way I'll have a place to go.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah, so I'm not gonna pair anything up until I really get it sorted out and kind of laid out to where I'm not moving racks out of the way to get to other racks and vice versa.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. I hear you.
So Morgan, you gonna start pairing up again, man? I know you're in like meniscus and all that other stuff, but you gonna start getting into it again heavily?
Yeah, I've been pairing up lately, and actually today I was working on I'm building a gecko room downstairs. It's going to be a little bit bigger than the one I've got. So, yeah, I'll hopefully be back to full-on production soon. I mean, we want to do all the California shows next year.
Oh, right on. Well, there's a Reptile Super Show coming up in January.
Yeah, except for that one. I don't have anything for that. Everybody keeps saying that.
Close. Yeah, but you guys could come down, hang out. It's one of the bigger shows in California. especially the January one for some reason. I think people get Christmas money, and then it just burns a hole in their pocket, so they can't wait to get out there.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, we might come down. I don't know if she wants to come to Los Angeles.
Yeah.
What have you? How have you scared her from? What have you scared her about?
No.
You telling her stories about Los Angeles?
No, we went there. It was no big deal.
Yep, they did come down. I unfortunately couldn't connect with them, but these guys were here for your honeymoon, right?
Yeah. I was gonna hang out with Jeremy and I couldn't. Then I was gonna hang out with you and then I couldn't. And then Val and then I couldn't. So yeah, we came down. We did Disneyland for the honeymoon and LA.
Yeah, no worries. I don't blame you. Yeah. You know, I don't blame you for spending all your time at Disneyland for the price that it costs to go there, man. I don't blame you. So
yeah.
Yeah. So, and Jeff, I heard your voice. So, are you going to come down for Reptile Super Show?
Yeah, I really, really want to, but it just depends on how December plays out. We keep getting a storm every other week.
I was going to say, will you be snowed in at that time? You guys get a lot of snow up there at that point, right?
No, we don't. I think the most we ever got here was like 4 feet one year. And then
you're saying this to a guy that lives in Memphis. We get wet snow for like one day, and it destroys the city, and it's nothing. It really freezes, and then the next day it's 70. It's like ridiculous. Like, I mean, to get a couple of inches of snow is like major here.
No, people go nuts here too. They go crazy here. You get, everybody wants to take their big old rock crawlers out, and from them to the little Hondas, and people just go nuts. I try to stay home when it snows. They don't plow our street. They plow the main road, but not the one that goes to our house.
Mm.
Yeah, so I can get out, but I can't get in a lot of times.
Oh no. Once that big wall is there, you can't get in?
No, well, it's uphill to my upper driveway, and going downhill is easy. You just kind of go out there and let it, you slip and slide down and just, just put it in four-wheel drive and just kind of aim for the road and don't use your brakes.
So you get at least until you get traction.
Yeah, and then when I hit the bottom part, I'm good. And then I got to go up like 3 blocks north of where I usually go out onto the main road, because that's a hill that goes down and then up to the main road. You'd have to see it to believe it. It's crazy. And then coming back, if I can get in, I park in the lower driveway because getting up to the upper part, and I'll take some pictures of it when it gets snowed in and post it. You'd have to be here to fully understand it.
Yeah, I wouldn't even know what to do in that kind of snow.
I'm not into shoveling the stuff, so I just stay home.
I don't blame you. That's the easiest and best thing to do.
Yeah, and then it rains, and then we get like snow, like 2-3 inches of snow, and then underneath it's like an inch of ice. So it's, you got to air down your tires and put half a yard of sand in the back of your truck, and put it in 4-wheel drive, and then you can do it, but you just got to be careful of everybody else.
Yeah, that's what I had to do in New Jersey when it got major snow. You have to start making adjustments.
Yeah. So compressor gets to work out.
Yeah, exactly.
A lot of fun.
Yeah, exactly. But, the benefit to the Reptile Super Show is they have 3 of them down here in Southern California. So, I think, 3 of them, 4 of them. So you're bound to get one.
Yeah, I hear the San Diego show's really good.
I would say that the Pomona show is better. San Diego show is definitely fun. I will not, take anything away from that, but I think pound for pound, the Pomona show is bigger.
Yeah, no, I'd love to go down there. I mean, January, that's when it gets the coldest here, but I'd love to go down there for like the whole month of January.
Oh.
I don't like the cold at all, man.
Oh, yeah, I feel you. I'm not looking forward to going back to a cold climate anytime soon. So, and then we got, so not only that, we have NARBC down here too, the Anaheim show. Gotten smaller over the years. I've been going since 2005, 2006, and it's smaller, but it's still a good show. I mean, it's still fun to visit with people. So when I say good show, I'm talking visiting.
Yeah,
catching up with
it's
everyone.
nice you guys get a variety of shows. The only show we get out here is they've been doing the Repticon. Well, they started it out like twice a year. I think this past year they did, or at least next year I think they're going to do 4 shows here. Like one in January, one in June. There's a couple different ones, and so yeah, I'm going to decide if I'm going to do the January show. It's just getting everybody out in the cold here. I don't know.
Yeah.
I just don't know how it's
going
to do.
Yeah, you got to get your geckos out into the cold, at least from the car to, It's like a major pain in the butt. You either got to go out and start your car up and get it hot, which, I mean, you're not going to mind when it's cold. And then from there, you got to get them into the building, too. So
yeah. And I normally just kind of share a table with a friend of mine that does ball pythons, and she's not really up. She's concerned about the temperatures and stuff. So I guess I'm gonna kind of wait till it gets closer to time. I definitely have the animals that I could vend. I just got to decide what's going to be best for them and temperatures. But the weird thing about Memphis is you never know. Like, I was in shorts and a T-shirt on Thanksgiving Day, and today it's like chilly and getting down to 40. So, or getting close to freezing actually. So in January, I have no idea what temperature it'll actually be. So one good thing about here is typically I can decide a little bit closer to time. But it's actually growing. This last show that I did was the best one that I've seen. They had a good amount of vendors with some decent variety. The typical, lots of ball pythons, a few other leopard gecko breeders. Then you get all the weird stuff like, sugar gliders and crap. At least they didn't have
get
the
that
prairie
stuff
dogs.
in California.
See, they had prairie dogs at the last one, and they were extremely loud, and it was the most annoying thing ever. So luckily they weren't. I didn't think they were legal to sell anymore, but they had them.
Well, don't you have animals at work that could use a snack?
Right. There were lots of animals at the show that wanted a snack, but
yeah,
I don't know. I thought they weren't allowed in the pet trade anymore due to some kind of disease. I know years ago I heard they pulled them from the pet stores from that, and I forget what it was, but yeah, they
bubonic plague or something, wasn't it?
What's that?
I thought it was a bubonic plague or something they carried, or they found some on it, or I could be just totally talking outside of my
Yeah,
neck.
it's one of those weird diseases. I don't know. I don't want to say. I just remember there was a reason prairie dogs disappeared. Because at work we used to have some that we used in education, and once they were gone, we didn't get any more for that reason. That there was concern for that. So who knows?
Because the LA Zoo and the San Diego Zoo both have prairie dogs on display.
Yeah, we have them on display, but we didn't get them for education purposes. Where we'd be able to hold them and let people touch them and stuff like that. But we do have them on a, like in a display area. But yeah.
I got you. I mean, we live in California, dude. Nothing's allowed here in the pet trade.
Tennessee has actually got extremely strict wildlife laws here. It's some of the strictest in the country. You're not even allowed to own a tortoise in the state of Tennessee.
Really?
Really. The only friend of mine got an old, what was it, a Russian tortoise, I think? Was it Russian? I don't know. She got a small tortoise. She had to get, like, an education permit to be able to have it and had to prove, like, it was a certain age and I don't know, all this kind of stuff. They're very, very strict. You're not allowed to own any native wildlife. You know, no venomous.
Wow.
Yeah, they're pretty strict here. But you can go 10 minutes down the street to the Repticon in Mississippi and buy rattlesnakes for $40. You know, so I don't know. It's a little crazy. That was the strangest thing for me to see is people buying venomous at a reptile show. I work with venomous at my job, and I personally would never have hots in my house. And some of the morons that were buying these rattlesnakes and stuff, I just couldn't believe it. The only thing that they had to show the guys was that they had to buy a hook and leave with a snake hook before they could take the snake. Didn't have to prove where they live, nothing. And like I said, they had Western pygmy rattlesnake babies for like $30 and $40 at the show. And that is one of the meaner rattlesnakes that I work with at the zoo. Is the Westerns just have tons of attitude, and you know they get pretty good size. You know they had pygmy rattlesnakes and stuff like that too, which okay, I can see it's a little more manageable, but you know what are you going to do if you get bit? You know, people don't think about that. What are you going to do if you get bit? So
isn't there the antitoxin for each different species is different too, isn't it?
Yeah, and that's something we're dealing with in the zoo world these days is a lot of these companies that make the antivenin are going out of business and quit making them. And we have to have so much on hand to cover snake bites that if they happen in our building, and you know, it's extremely expensive. And if somebody was to get bit by a venomous snake in this area, they would have to get the antivenin from the zoo. And we'd have to be able to give that up. And it's getting harder and harder for us to get. So it's going to get, you know, I'm sure it's harder for the hospitals to get. And we've actually had to let certain species go to other zoos just because we have to be able to have so much of that on hand, and different species from different parts of the world have a different antivenin. So stuff from Africa, you know, will have a certain type, and, you know, some Asian species have a different type. And we have all that on hand with us that if something did happen, we have enough to treat, you know, through full treatment and then some. And so all that would go to the hospital with us if a bite did happen. Which sad thing is we're extra safe, and most of that stuff just expires, and then you have to toss it, and you know that's just money. But you know, it's better to have it on hand just to be safe, because you know.
Oh yeah, stuff happens.
You never know. That's the truth.
Yeah,
you know,
I definitely wouldn't feel safe at my house with a venomous animal, knowing that I would have to rely on somebody else, at least, you know, to have that antivenin and to treat me, and hopefully the hospital knows the right person. You know, we have all the protocol and everything we need right there with us if something happens, and it rides in the ambulance with you when you go if something come up. But luckily nothing like that has ever happened, so we're in good shape.
Which is good. I'm knocking on wood for you. On wood for you.
Right.
I wouldn't wish that on anyone, to get bit by a venomous reptile.
No. I've seen the pictures. I've seen the pictures. I do not watch those shows, like when, you know, it doesn't do me any good to watch those shows when nature attacks, you know. It just you know, shows me all the things that could go wrong on any given day, and I know that. I don't need to see it, you know. So yes, looking at snake bites doesn't sit very well with me.
Yep, I watched the Viper Keeper. I don't know if you guys watch him on YouTube, but Al Caris, he's probably one of the most experienced venomous keepers, and he actually provides breeding.
Kentucky?
Yeah, he provides breeding projects to zoos, and he's got friends that milk venomous snakes, and he keeps all sorts of venomous species, just, you know, in an attempt to conserve so that people stop taking them out of the wild. He wants to breed them so that people can pass them around to, anti-venom.
Right. A lot of
and stuff like that. And he came face to face with a black mamba that was pretty PO'd, that was wild caught, not looking to go into a tub, for shipment. And
no.
I watched it, and this thing stood up to, maybe his belly button, and I was thinking, oh, that's not good. And
no, that is
luckily he's got experience to remain calm, and he ended up getting it, bagged up, and or at least in the tub. And even he went on to state before the video, like, remaining calm is your best friend. Being able to think yourself out of a situation when you got a really angry, venomous snake trying to kill you.
Well, I'll tell you this, mambas especially, that is one venomous snake I wouldn't want to be in a room with loose. That thing comes at you with intent, and it would actually probably, we have green mamba, and that would actually probably chase you down. Most snakes are going to want to get away. That is one snake that is going to come at you. And we shift those. Most of all those we do, like, shift cages. So we don't even have to, like, our upper-level management will actually hook them when necessary. But they're extremely fast, hard to stay on hooks. And that is a bite you're not going to come back from. That anti-venom's probably not going to do you that much good. And
that's what Al says.
So we build special shift cages. The sad thing is talking about the milkers. The venom milkers have kind of gone to the wayside in modern times, and there used to be a couple people that did that to us, in the United States to keep to work on the anti-venom and stuff. And I want to say it's probably a lot of restrictions and stuff, go on now that makes that stuff extremely hard to do. And so it's kind of the old cowboys are kind of fading out, and it's just not being done that much anymore. So
I wouldn't apply for that job.
No.
I mean, I love haunts, I love all the snakes, all the reptiles, but leopard geckos
I've flipped the venomous snakes and worked on a hook pinning one, and actually doing that, like, it's a little close for comfort for me personally, but I'm not going to say never, but it's not something I'm really pushing the boss to learn how to do.
You will not see me pin a venomous snake. Sorry, not going to happen. I'm not getting my hands near the pointy end.
No. And we don't even do that too often now. Very rare do they actually put their hands on them like that anymore. Everything is done, ultra safety, like snake tubes and stuff like that. So
that's what Viper Keeper says. Alcarid says is, do it in the safest manner for you and the snake possible. Now, are there times where you have to lay hands on the snake and, help them shed their eye caps or something? Yes, there's occasional times where you have no choice. If you keep enough snakes, you're going to have to do it. But even he said, the most venomous snake in the world is the snake that just bit you. That's all there is to it. When you're keeping hots, it's not a game. It's not something to be like, oh, look, I got my Eastern Diamondback in my bedroom, ha ha ha, let's play with it. No, it's like a serious thing. So
even Diamondback, and they sell like monocled cobras, and like they had a spitting cobra at the show. And
they sell cobras at the show?
I've seen Egyptian banded cobras and monocled cobras pretty commonly. They had a monocled, I think, for sale, and they had a spitting cobra there, I think, just for display. But, I've seen and the prices on these things make it very affordable. Like, I had leopard geckos priced higher than the rattlesnakes, and I was just like, this seems weird. Like, this just doesn't seem, I don't know.
Yeah, because people don't care. There's nothing regulating it, and God forbid we regulate ourselves in the reptile world. That's like you're outcast if you try to regulate or impose, any type of way to monitor all that stuff. So, California, you can't sell hots at shows, so that's all there is to it for us.
Yeah, in Tennessee,
I've been to shows, so you can. Yeah, Texas. In Texas, I believe you can. I think NARBC
Yeah, Texas is pretty big.
restricts it.
And,
yeah, I think NARBC
Texas,
Arlington restricts it, so you can't do it there. But so yeah, it's crazy. We have Repticon here. Getting back to the shows, but we have Repticon here as well. They do 2 shows a year. One straight up Repticon, and then they do the America's Family Pet Expo in April. So they do a little Repticon thing. So you guys can always make it down for that.
Yeah.
What is that? April what?
I don't know the date this year, so I couldn't tell you. I just know it's usually like at the beginning of April, I want to say. Maybe mid-April.
What city is that in?
It takes place in Costa Mesa at the fairgrounds.
Oh, okay. My old stomping grounds there.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's a really good time. They've got dogs, cats, birds, the reptiles. They've got fish. It's a big, huge pet expo, and it's for all pets, basically. So
yeah.
It's really cool.
April
Something to see.
April 22nd to the 24th at the OC Fair and Event Center, Orange County.
Yep, in Costa Mesa.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I used to live pretty close to there before they built that what is it, the amphitheater right there, right next to it, right next to the fairgrounds. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, I don't know if that gets much use, but that one's a good one. I mean, the reptile show is pretty small on that one. I like to go because I can bring my puppy and she'll go sit with us at the Elkhound booth, the Norwegian Elkhound booth, and then I can go visit, hang out at the reptiles and all that other good stuff.
That's where I went to my first reptile show ever, but this was years ago, so I don't think it was Repticon. This was, God.
Yeah, it's been quite a
something.
few. Yeah, it's been way too many names to list or remember. Repticon is just the most recent group to run it.
Yeah.
So I mean, my reptile rescue group president for 2 or 3 years, he ran it, and then they just didn't ask him. So I don't know what it's unfortunately highly political. So I don't even get into it.
Yeah.
I'm like, whatever, just call it a reptile show. I don't care who runs it. As long as I can go visit with everyone that I know, I'm good. Oh,
yeah, go look at the leucistics leopard geckos and the pinstripe leopard geckos.
Yeah. You mean you're supposed to have leopard geckos and reptiles at the show? What? There was not that many there this year. When I went, it was another ball python show. So, and then I saw a couple of things like chameleons, the blue-tongued skinks. A lot of blue-tongued skinks were there. So,
beardies are
but you guys are definitely going to have to make it down. You guys are going to have to make it down for some shows. Brian's going to have to come out from Tennessee.
that would be quite the trip for me. But
yeah, but it'd be a good trip.
I got
road
to visit
trip.
California a couple of years ago. I loved it out there. I would love to do. I've done one cross-country drive from out there. Helped a friend move back, but it was very quick. I'd like to do it like leisurely and see a few sights along the way. Get to see out west a little more. But I visited L.A. I liked it out there. It was nice.
Yeah.
It was funny to me. People there were complaining about humidity, and I just laughed at them. I'm like, come to Memphis. You'll really know what humidity is like.
No, we don't.
Like,
we don't. You're right.
Here. No, like these people were. I wasn't even sweating, and these people were like, "It's so humid out here." And I'm like, "Okay, sure."
It's been more humid than normal, but it's not. It's not like, anywhere near. And I agree.
Come to Memphis. Come to Memphis in August. You'll know what the swamp feels like for sure.
Nope. I lived in New Jersey. Been to Ohio. I'm been to Florida. Know what humidity is. No, thank you.
Yeah.
I'll stay right.
No, you walk outside and you're instantly wet. Like you're just damp.
We get dry heat here so bad that you get nosebleeds in the summer.
Yeah.
But
that's a little different.
I'll deal with the dry heat more than I would the humidity. I don't like the humidity at all.
Yeah,
that's all
exactly.
I know, though. Lived here my whole life, so that's all I really know. So
yeah.
I guess I'm somewhat used to it. It's getting harder to deal with the older I get, though. I'll tell you that.
Yeah. It never gets easier. Nothing in life gets easier, though, bro.
No, that's for sure.
Especially humidity. Ask Jeff about the cold, man.
Yeah.
He doesn't like it.
No,
that gets hard to deal with, too.
Yeah, you don't get used to it. Oh, your blood is thickening up. Yeah, right.
Yeah, as I'm freezing to death. Be nice and thick then.
And the locals that grew up around here, I'll go outside and they're like in shorts and shorts and tank tops and stuff, and it's like 30 degrees. And I got a jacket on, pants, work boots, 2 pairs of socks, gloves. I'm still cold.
Yeah, a buddy of mine that I worked with from Boston, he's walking around in shorts all winter long. Everybody else is bundled up. I've never seen the man in a pair of pants. He's like, yeah, I don't wear pants. I don't need to. He's just like, yeah, this is not cold. I'm like, yeah, all right. You say so, buddy.
Yeah, that's the way it goes, though. Especially when you're comfortable around in the cold. Then when it gets to be 40 degrees, that's not cold. When you're expecting 10 degrees, so that's the way it goes. But all right, you can put me back on mute, Morgan. I'll give you your show back.
All right. Thanks for calling, Eric. It's good to talk to you, man. It was good talking to you. Don't stay late for so long.
Yes, sir. Hopefully here, son's finishing up his senior year in high school, band, so we'll be a little less busy, and then I can get back into things. But got to
get some Yumbo
family
Yanks
first.
going.
Exactly. So,
all right, well, take it easy, Eric.
Thank you very much for putting me on, man. I appreciate it, Morgan.
Now he's going to go eat pizza and laugh.
Exactly.
Awkward silence.
Have we lost Morgan? Morgan, are you there?
Am I here?
Yeah, I don't know. You tell me. Are you there?
Okay. All right. Yeah, I'm here. So you guys want to take another caller?
Sure. It's up to Bryan. It's his show.
I'm talking to Bryan.
Oh, okay.
Bryan, are you there?
Bryan, are you there?
Yeah, it's Bryan is here.
Does Bryan want to take another caller?
Yes, let's do it.
All right, caller from the 775. You're on the air.
775 from the No Town. What's going on, fellas?
Hey.
This is Jeremy.
Yeah.
Hello? Who are we talking to?
This is Jeremy.
It's Jeremy.
Jeremy, what's up, buddy?
You didn't
What's happening, Bryan? How are you doing? What's going on, guys?
What's up, man?
Not much.
No, I was just listening. I had some work to do at home, so I wanted to listen in and see what was going on with Bryan got.
You want me to mute you?
You whatever you want to do, brother. It's your show, homie.
Homie.
Sorry, you stopped me right in the middle of my work. I'm writing here and looking at some directions and stuff. So.
Okay. All right. Go back to your work, and thanks for calling in, man.
Hey, yeah, thank you. I'll listen to the rest of the show, though. Don't hang up on me.
All right, man.
I'll just mute you.
All right, thanks, brother.
trying to figure out a Rubik's Cube or something over there.
So, Bryan, why don't you tell us about the dart frogs you're working with now?
I couldn't hear you, sorry.
Tell us about the dart frogs, like the setups and how you got all that going.
Oh, man, I'm just kind of getting into it. I kind of fell into it, actually. A buddy of mine was moving and dropped a couple of his Vivs off with me, already all set up. It was nice. That's kind of why I've delayed getting into them. Like, all that lighting and stuff just kind of, I know I deal with it at work, but at home it's just something I didn't want to deal with at first. But he dropped a couple already all set up. It was pretty nice. So kind of playing around with them a little bit. And right away I found a couple of tadpoles and one of his bumblebee dart frogs. They're like a fine spot Luke dart frogs. Found a couple tadpoles. So I've got that. So he's got a breeding pair of those. He also dropped off 3 juveniles that he gave to me for kind of. He says I'm watching these, but I don't know when they're ever going to leave. So I don't know. They may be mine now. And then he has a little breeding group of thumbnail dart frogs, which, holy crap, man. I like the bumblebees because they're bigger. You can see them. Yeah. They're not that fast. These thumbnail frogs are the fastest thing I've ever seen. Like, they're so fast and they're so small. And they're in a little, what is it, 12 by 18 Exoterra. It's like little ones. And you open those front doors and they will come flying out. So kind of intimidates me a little bit with those guys. They're really cool looking little frogs. They're like a green bodied frog with like dark black dots with like blue legs. But adult frogs are less than or adult frogs are literally as big as your thumbnail. So they're pretty small.
Those real active?
So, the bigger dart frogs I find are more active. They're always out. Like, I can find them all the time. Honestly, the thumbnails worry me because I never see them. When I first got them, they were pretty active. But I haven't really seen them much, but his tanks are pretty heavily planted, so there's a lot of hiding places. In the room that I'm keeping them in, it's a little bit cooler, so he said they may just not be as active because it's so cool. But I do hear them calling, and their call is a little low trill, so I hear them calling every once in a while. It almost sounds like there's a cricket in the front room when I know I don't have crickets in the house. So I know they're in there. I just don't see them that often. So the world of dart frogs has now exposed me to making fruit fly cultures and getting fruit flies going. So that's fun. It's actually been a little bit easier than I thought it would be. They reproduce pretty well. I just had to learn how to feed without letting a lot of fruit flies escape. People weren't too happy in the house when they were finding fruit flies, and I'm like, I'm sorry. But kind of figured that out, so that's going all right. Not really sure, I'm hoping this little trio that I have, I've got an empty Exoterra. I'm hoping I'm going to get it all set up. I'm going to, plant my first tank, and hopefully these guys will start breeding for me next year. I'm hoping to get a few more offspring from this breeding group before they leave. I've actually, kind of offered my friend that if he wants to sell them, I would love to buy them as is. Everything's good to go. Just leave them here. But this guy lives in Wisconsin and doesn't have any plans to come back to Memphis, so it'll be interesting to see how he plans on getting them back to Wisconsin. But no, they're doing pretty good. That's it. I finally got a Pac-Man frog at the last show. Got a little garbage disposal. He's doing good. I love the amphibians. I haven't done good with them at home before, and I think it's just I had some humidity issues and I had to put them in a different room in my house. And, learning with these Exoterras with the dart frogs at home, I've had to, cover them up and make sure there's not too much, ventilation and stuff like that. And, can't be too hot, can't be too cold. Got to make sure nobody's spraying any air fresheners around the house or anything. I'm like, there's amphibians, no chemicals. So that's been fun. But yeah, I really like them a lot. That's one of the main things I do at work is work with, you know, amphibians. I do a newt breeding project for striped newts, and so I've got a love for the amphibians. So it's kind of nice to have some in the house and that are doing well. I tried a group of dart frogs a couple years ago and just didn't think I didn't have the setups right, and I think the animals just weren't robust, and I didn't do so well. But these are all doing really well, so I'm liking them.
Yeah. Yeah, that's awesome.
But man, I tell you what, yeah, that little thumbnail frogs, they're so fast, and he gave me a baby, and I brought it home in a little bin, and I mean, this thing, I wished I could give you something, a size description of how small this thing actually was, and it was just tiny, and I opened the top to show someone what it looked like. The thing went bouncing like a bullet. I slammed the top down really quick. Never saw the thing again. So he obviously went flying out, and I couldn't see him. And that kind of sucked. Very nice little frog that disappeared on me, but I've had the adults get out, and like I said, they're so fast. And the bad thing about them is they're, you know, wall climbers too, so they can stick to anything. So they'll disappear before you know it. So I have to be extra careful when I'm misting their enclosure and feeding out fruit flies. And I'm kind of glad they're not as active as they once were, because I sure would hate to lose his very expensive tiny frogs. And then be held responsible. I'm like, dude, you left them here. I don't know what to tell you. but no, it's doing good. I like them.
So,
that's awesome.
How much are those frogs? I know it all varies, but
I mean, these little guys.
Prices.
I talked to a guy the other day because I was thinking about getting a little group myself, and I think he wanted like $250 for like 4 of them or something. Like, I don't know. It was crazy. I think they're like $75 a piece for this frog that's like, you know, 2 centimeters, you know, tiny little thing. You know, the other darts can really vary, but this particular, I think it's Variabilis is the scientific name, or species name, Variabilis. They're the Highland morph or something, you know, so they're from a specific location and makes them more valuable, and I don't know.
Wow.
It's expensive for a little bitty, very sensitive animal.
Very perishable, huh?
Yeah. I mean, you look at them funny and they die. You know, you're like, ugh. But I found the bumblebees. The bumblebees are the Leucomelis that I have. They're pretty hardy. Like I said, they're much bigger animal. They tend to be active a lot more than some of the other darts that I've seen. Like, I pretty much, almost any time I walk by the vivarium, you can spot one out hunting for fruit flies. So I like them. You know, they're nice bright yellow, so stand out. And the planted enclosures are really nice. The one that he's got those in is pretty full. It's almost hard to see in, but he told me not to mess with it, not to prune it, and they're breeding in there and they're happy, so I'm just leaving it the way it is. But excuse me. But they're looking pretty nice. So
and those are pretty self-maintained, right?
What's that?
They're pretty. Once you get the ecosystem going, they're pretty maintained, right? I mean, it's self-maintained.
Yeah, that's. I missed them. Like, you know, when you're wanting to breed heavy, you miss them more. But keep it nice and damp. You have all your little isopods and stuff in there, and it does its own thing. The only other thing that's kind of in the past kind of made me not really want to get into it is just cost of lighting and some of that kind of stuff. But now they're coming out with all these new LED lights and stuff that work great, better, you know, better cost and stuff like that. So I guess I'm going to give it a try.
Yeah, the LED stuff looks pretty cool. My only issue is, like, they say that the LEDs last for years and years, but I notice a lot of times you'll have like 1 or 2 go out in the first year. And then it's like you'd have to replace the whole bar just for like the look of it, you know, like you want all the lights lit up. I don't know.
Right.
That bugs me.
Yeah, we've switched over to LED lights on a couple of our saltwater tanks, and so far so good with those. We haven't had any problems with any of the bulbs going out or anything like that.
Oh, that's cool.
And the corals seem to be doing just fine. We haven't tried any like major stony corals or anything in them yet, but I know a lot of other places do. They're relatively young tanks, so you know, tried out the new lights. They had halide lights and stuff in the past. The aquarium I work in's, you know, an older building, so last couple of years we've been kind of upgrading it, going to some of these new modern things. And one of the first things we tried out was some of the LED lights, and so far so good. But I haven't tried them at home, so we'll see if he's just got, you know, regular UV bulbs on these. But up to this point, it's been kind of nice. The only animal that I have that needs UV is a chameleon, and the frilled dragon that I'm holding on to that I got as a rescue. It's got a UV bulb, but you know, getting into animals that need a lot of UV bulbs gets a little expensive.
Oh yeah,
you know, you got to change them out so often. Yeah, we finally got little like meters and stuff I can use to come check, you know, and see the output of the UV on them. So I'm not just changing for no reason. But yeah, that's like with metal halides and stuff. That's just, yeah, they use so much electricity and stuff. So hopefully the LEDs will work. I'm just now starting to look into it. Haven't gotten too far into it right now. You know, the leopard geckos take all my time. So, but it is kind of nice to have these set up bibs that just you come in and you drop them off, and I get to look at them and spray them with water and put some fruit flies in every once in a while. It's been kind of nice. But hopefully I'll get a couple more little tadpoles so I can send Mr. Morgan a couple little froglets in the spring.
Yeah. Definitely.
Apparently they do pretty good in pairs. I don't know what the young ones, the young ones that I have aren't able to be sexed yet, but they're real tricky with sex ratios and groups. You know, they'll fight. Even the females fight and stress each other out. And so he has a 1.1 group that does really well together. So it's just the pair in a little 10-gallon tank. Which some people think is a little small for them, but it works. They use all the space. It's like they use the vertical height. That's another crazy thing. I'll take the top off, and they're crammed in a corner in some moss, like right by the glass top. And I'm like, oh, there's frog there. But at least these are big enough to see, and if they got down, you could see a bright yellow frog. So it's pretty cool. But they're doing good. When I got them, I found 3 tadpoles, but they were in a dry petri dish. 2 of the tadpoles didn't make it for whatever reason. I think it had something to do with the water that I had. I didn't have any, like, RODI water, so I got some of that, some, like, purified, super filtered water. And this last tadpole I have remaining is growing and doing well. I was hopeful that the thumbnails were going to breed. He actually says they breed pretty consistently in the tank. The hard thing with those is the males, once the eggs hatch, will take the tadpoles on their back and go hide them somewhere else. So they'll breed in a film canister. Yeah.
Oh.
I think both of them will, but I think typically the male will. But he said even the loops will do that as well. But I found these in a little petri dish under their little coconut hut, and I don't know. So the little thumbnails were in their film canister when I first got them. There were like 3 of them in there together, and I was hoping to find eggs, but never did. So I don't know if they moved it or if they just didn't lay yet from the stress of the move or what. So we'll see. Again, I've heard calling, so I'm hopeful. have some of those. But again, I'll probably just send those to Morgan because they scare the crap out of me. They're way too fast. way too fast. I'm not joking. That thing was like a bullet in there.
I'll take them.
I'm sure. They're nice. They're really cool, like very, very pretty little frogs. Like they're bright emerald green. It's just very striking when you see them, but they're so little and lots of hiding places that it's kind of hard. So with them, I guess you got to have a pretty vivarium so you have something to look at when the frogs are out.
Yeah, I noticed a lot of them are like that with the small ones that hide.
Yeah.
Is that all they eat is fruit fly? I mean, can you get like little tiny pinhead crickets or anything put in there?
Yeah, I'll feed them. I'll feed them pinheads on occasion. They're not as good for them. They don't eat them as well. I've got a few other things. They'll eat the springtails, so I've got those going pretty well. So when I don't have fruit flies, I'll feed those. That's mostly what they eat. I keep a couple. I have two different species of fruit flies. I feed the bigger frogs, the bigger ones, and got some little ones for the smaller frogs. But they eat a lot of them, and so just keeping those going.
Too filling.
What's that?
They can't be too filling. I mean,
no.
Take a whole bunch.
It takes a lot of ants and little tiny bugs to fill up a dart frog, I imagine. Not a lot of nutrition in that tiny little fly, I'm sure. But I've been told you can't overfeed them. Just keep them heavily fed, and so far so good with all those guys here this time. So
frogs are cool, definitely.
Yeah, the little Pac-Man frog I got. It's a funny little thing. Doesn't move that much, but just a funny little frog. That thing is growing. Yeah, it's growing like crazy. Yeah, I got it a few weeks ago, and I mean, I guess it's been a couple months now, actually, but that thing is like over doubled in size already, and just you can't feed them enough.
Yeah, definitely cool.
Yeah. Are you gonna breed Pac-Man frogs, Bryan?
I don't know. That's not really the thought right now. I just kind of wanted to have one around. I did see that guy Mike's Fat Frogs had a bunch of tadpoles for pretty good price. I was like, man, but that again, that's a lot of aquariums and a lot of water. I deal with enough water at work. The last thing I want to do when I get home, it's why I got rid of my saltwater fish tank. I'm like, I don't want to keep fish at home.
Yeah, I think it's pretty smart what Mike is doing with selling like the huge wholesale group of tadpoles. Because if you buy 100, you're gonna understand how hard it is to take care of that many babies. I mean, considering when one female has like 2,000 eggs.
Oh, so it's insane.
Yeah, taking care of 100 tadpoles. So I know that there's.
Yeah, trust me.
Trust
me, I know with
flooded.
Yeah, but it is something that crossed my mind out here. We don't have really anybody in this area doing that. Like at Repticon, there was a lady that had some amphibians this time, but I don't think they were like a real breeder. I think they were just kind of a flipper. But they had a lot of different stuff. Yeah. But we typically don't have anybody locally doing like any dart frogs or anything like that. So the thought did cross my mind is something that's different, trying to have, but I'd have to downsize the leopards quite a bit. And, so right now, I mean, I just got into these guys. I'm gonna keep working on that, and not get into anything too crazy otherwise just yet. I think the next thing I want to get some more African fat tails I have picked it. I got a couple Pictus, and I got some crested geckos. Got those. Not really something I think I'm going to breed now. So, just trying to be very thoughtful about what I have and not get too crazy. Because it's time consuming, as everyone knows. It's fun, but it's definitely gotten quite time consuming.
Yeah,
definitely.
And lots of water changes just don't sound fun as far as tadpoles go. I'm going to be getting into that at work. It's again, my new project is going for the next season. They started laying eggs again, and that'll be hundreds of babies before long, with lots of little care. When they hatch, they're smaller than a grain of rice. They're tiny, tiny little things, and I have to, keep tanks of, little microorganisms, aquatic microorganisms, Daphnia and stuff like that going for them. And, it gets to be quite time consuming. So it's kind of, a couple dart frog tadpoles here and there is not so bad, but getting into something, like a Pac-Man frog that's going to lay hundreds, if not thousands of eggs is very daunting sounding.
Overwhelming, yeah.
Yeah.
See, like the Newt project, that's really cool. I've been kind of following you doing that. So
so
more
those
worthwhile
guys
than a lot of stuff we do.
Yeah, for those of you that don't know, this project is a project I'm working on at the zoo I work in. Breeding a group of western striped newts. They're a threatened species. They looked all over the historical home range. Only found one little area that they found. They collected 20 babies, and that was one kind of isolated area. But throughout the whole home range, the historic home range, they've been eradicated, like a lot of amphibians are being faced with through, logging, pollution, human settlements and stuff. So we actually, are working with wildlife biologists, took in a small group of these animals, and we are now breeding them for reintroduction back into the wild. I've sent over a couple hundred back to Florida in Apalachicola for release within the last 2 years. I've been working on this project since 2011. So it's something I work with quite a bit. It's going pretty well. It's a pretty fun project. Zoo world and private life is totally different. Breeding at home, you're breeding, morphed animals, different kinds of stuff, maybe subspecies, different things like that. In the zoo world, it's completely different. It's all regulated. You're working with biologists and government agencies, and, you very specific about what animals you're breeding, and, but to be involved in a project where I'm actually releasing animals back into the wild, and hopefully restoring a population is a pretty sweet project to be working with, and it's been pretty rewarding. And so far, so good. Hopefully next year I'll have even more to send out. Caring for lots of tiny little newts is challenging.
That's the kind of stuff that matters, all this morph making and, hey, look at this cool looking gecko. It's albino, this, that, and there, and the other thing.
Yeah.
What are we doing for the wild populations?
Well, no, this is fun. This lets me kind of pick and choose and be the mad scientist in my own little room. So it's kind of.
I'm into it.
It's fun, but yeah, it's a completely different world, and I have to, your way of thinking. There is a little bit different than when you're at home doing, your hobby.
Yeah. If a weird looking newt popped up, you wouldn't want to line breed it for the zoo or anything like that, huh?
No, you're probably If we get something weird popping up, we're throwing this over there, and it's not going anywhere. But it's been pretty good. And they've seen some success with it. They found animals returning to the ponds, they going back to the ponds to breed and stuff. So it's going to take years and lots and lots and lots of animals. I mean, these animals, even as adults, are small enough. They're probably a pretty big prey item. So you really have to saturate saturate the land with a lot of them to hope, to establish a population. So it's going to be several years before we know, but hopefully we'll have good success. We won't know if we don't try, though. So what's that?
Do they tag them or identify them some way so that
they set up what's called drift fences around the ponds, and so they monitor the animals coming and going. So the animals will come to the pond and try to go to a pond. They walk around the fence and they kind of fall in traps, or the biologists will just monitor or be walking around looking for different animals. They've talked about different ways to kind of tag these guys, but with them tagging amphibians, especially one this small, is just extremely difficult to do, and there's no real way to do it. You can't, I mean, they're so small you can't put any kind of like transmitters or anything like that, or any pit tags even. I mean, they're just too small. So they monitor with like drift fences and stuff like that. So they know everything coming and going from the ponds at certain times of year. They'll put them up during migration times and monitor heavily, and then they'll take them down to allow the animals to, freely come and go. But unfortunately, I haven't been really involved with some of that stuff out in the field yet. I'm hoping next year to be able to go out and, work with some of the biologists out in the field a little more. Right now, I'm just, breeding in tanks and packing them up in a box and sending them to the guys and hoping for the best. So.
Yeah, no, it just takes a lot of cooperation on
lots of red tape,
and
lots of biologists, and then if an animal is an endangered species, you guys deal with U.S. Fish and Wildlife and
paperwork,
any kind of the forestry agencies, all that kind of stuff. So it's I'm glad I don't have to quite deal with that aspect of it. That's a little above my pay grade. I just breed the animals, pack them up, and they tell me to send them off. Yeah, the fun stuff. Get to maybe go out in the field here and there and, traipse around in the water looking for newts, so.
It sounds rewarding. I'm just a poor dirt farmer. I don't get to do any of that.
I'm fortunate to get to do it, work with all different kinds of species, it's definitely a fun gig.
Yeah.
It's not a gig that's ever going to make you rich, but it's definitely, if animals are what you like, it can definitely be a rewarding job,
Definitely. I see the stuff you post, and it's like, dang, what the heck am I doing? I saved a bluebelly the other day, got in the back of my truck.
Yeah.
My daughter seen it, and she said, Dad, there's a baby lizard in your truck. So I took it out, and I put it on this rocks by this ground cover and let it loose. So, I mean, I'm doing my part.
Yeah, you're doing your part. I hear you move her, go remove some rattlesnakes and stuff for people to, keep them from getting killed and stuff like that. That's good.
I relocate them, and try to educate people. They're not after your chickens, they were after the mice that were feeding on the chicken feed.
Right. Yeah, we get a lot of, it's interesting with, people's mentality with snakes and reptiles in general, but especially snakes, especially, I'm sure you get it too, but in the South, it's funny, trying to educate people and what they think is true and trying to convince them otherwise. A lot of times it's not even worth the breath, but, you still try.
Yeah, well, it's been ingrained into the culture for,
right.
As long as we've been here.
Right.
So we get a lot of weird questions at shows. People asking me if, leopard geckos were salamanders. Are they poisonous? got a bunch of questions. Weird questions.
Well, we get people thinking penguins are reptiles, so I get my fair share of weird stuff, for sure.
They're actually birds, aren't they? No.
Yeah, they don't fly, but they're not reptiles.
Ornith, I don't know, the bird family. Ornithochingus.
I don't know. I just call them jerks. They like to bite, so.
Yeah.
And they bite hard, so I don't hang out with the penguins too much.
You're not down with the whole penguin crowd? You do all the bats, though, right?
Yeah, on occasion I get to work in the bat flight. My department is like a split between nocturnal, reptiles, and aquatics. And the nocturnal building, I don't often get to go over there, but every once in a while I get to go over there and clean the bat flight. I had to go through my whole rabies inoculation and all this kind of stuff. They're all captive bred, but it's one of Tennessee's laws, I'm sure a lot of zoos, but fortunately we had a little skunk that came into education, and we were taking care of it. And part of Tennessee's rule was to be rabies inoculated because they're a potential rabies vector. And so I had to get a rabies shot to be able to take care of him. And so that led me to be able to work with a bat. And it's actually one of my favorite areas to work in. We have a big open flight. It's glass on both sides, like a hallway. The big fruit bats. We got Egyptian fruit bats that fly around.
Cool.
And they're the smallest species of flying fox, so they're pretty good size. So it's really interesting getting in there and listening to them squabbling in the morning, making all their little ruckus. I've posted videos of it before. It's pretty neat. They can be messy. A lot of people are scared of them too. And we also have vampire bats, and a lot of people really get freaked out by those. But believe it or not, vampire bats are kind of picky. We have to feed them very specific blood. They won't eat pig blood. They only eat cow blood. So I'm not worried about this thing biting me. If it'll only eat warm cow blood, it's not trying to bite me. So.
Wow.
Yeah. The zoo world's an interesting place, that's for sure.
Yeah, I haven't been to a zoo in years.
Jeff, I have to get pictures of these giant hissing cockroaches for you. They're massive.
Yeah.
I've got the species name for you too. I'll send it to you. I forget what they are, but these things are massive. They're the size of the palm of my hand.
Oh man!
Yeah. The lady here breeds them. I mean, and you can walk in the room and startle them, and they hiss so loud you can hear them across the room.
Oh man, that's cool.
Yeah.
I've been looking at the big roaches and big bugs and stuff, the different types. Does that lady breed them for feeders, or it's just?
I think she originally got them for just like a pet thing. She's got a lot of praying mantis and stuff as well. She's got several different species of the roaches. She's got the regular Madagascar hissing cockroaches, these big black ones, one called Halloweens. They're like a smaller orange striped one. But I think she does feed them off. She's got a lot of beardies and stuff like that that I think she feeds them off too. I haven't gotten any of the little babies of these yet, so I don't really know if the geckos would take them. Originally, I got them just to have a different breeding group, and they look pretty cool, and was hoping to pass some of them off, but that kind of fell through. So now I've got this nice group of them that I don't know what to do with. But I don't know. They're pretty cool. They're like I said, they're really big. And,
I should pick up some Madagascar hissers, just the regular Madagascar. I think the giant hissers you're talking about, they're from Madagascar too, but a different part.
Yeah, I want to say the species name was like Narcissa or something like that. I don't know. She sent it to me the other night. I'll have to look it up.
Yeah.
For a zoo guy, I'm really bad with all those fancy Latin names.
Yeah, there's a lot to keep track of. I know plant names, when I go out to people's houses, they want they all know it by the common name, and then I say the botanical name, which is usually the Latin name.
Right.
No, it's a Chinese elm. And then I say the real name. Hey, you could just be making that up. I probably could be, but that's what it is.
Right.
So you're going full bore immigration next year, huh?
What's that?
You're going to go full bore immigrants, huh?
We'll see. We'll see.
Yeah.
It's going pretty good. I'm hoping, like I said, I got only bred 2 of the females I produced last year. It's got several. Got to kind of decide. I was actually not really with the project. I wasn't really interested in the raptors or the trimpers, but a couple of the raptors are nice that hatched, and the couple of the trimpers are just actually really, really stunning animals. So we'll see where it goes. Like I said, the goal was to really get more of the greens, and I'm not getting a lot of black spotting, a lot of boldness in them yet. I've got a couple. I've got one that hatched this year that had the stripes that it actually seems to be kind of holding the black spot. So I'd like to get, some of the brighter colors, some of the good color, get a little black in them. But I'm going to have to see what these do. They seem to be changing quite a bit. So like I said, I'm going to hold on to what I got. The 2 females only produced about 6 eggs each, which is actually pretty good. The female that I started breeding was the most reproductive animal that I had. That she laid so many clutches and did it, 2 years in a row. I was kind of glad these females didn't lay that many eggs. But
yeah, some females can just keep laying them.
Oh, and she never lost. I don't think she ever lost a gram of weight. I mean, she stayed fat the entire time. Great little animal. She wasn't a very big animal either. She was, always had a nice fat tail, but just kind of a smaller bodied animal. The male raptor I bred her with, he's pretty small too. But yeah, she just kept turning out egg after egg after egg. It was insane, and every single one of them were fertile right to the very end. Like even the last clutch she dropped were fertile, good eggs. So we'll see. And these girls, like I said, the girls this year laid 3 clutches each. All of them were good. And I think one of them laid 1 dud, but other than that, so they're nice and healthy animals. We'll see where it goes. I'm kind of excited. It's one of the more unique things I'm doing, just on a visual level, just something a little different on my own. And next year we'll see. I plan on doing more with this. And then next year I've got hopefully some of my snow animals that I've acquired will be ready. This year, just one of my females ovulated really small, so I didn't breed her. And everybody else is just kind of was a little too small and didn't really see any ovulation. So it'll probably start picking up pretty soon on some of these. So just have to decide who I want to pair. I've got a couple of Mac Eclipse things that I want to pair up, and some pretty cool snow males that I want to pair. I've got a hypo snow group that's het free that I got from Josh that I wanna pair up, and
that hypo, his cool hypo snow project thing.
I got a few
from
him.
Those are neat.
Yeah, I got a few from him last year. Again, one of the females started ovulating way too early. She was small, but I think she's just going to be a smaller animal. So we'll see. Come next year. The other female never ovulated, or I didn't catch ovulation, which is good. I paired up enough this year, so hopefully that's why I may not. If I pair up a few of these snow things, I may take a year off on the marble eye stuff and just focus on some of the emerines and a couple snow projects. I'll definitely be doing the Enigma pair again because I'd like to be able to produce a few more of those for that I can release because the ones I produced this year are definitely not letting go of. They're really, really interesting looking animals. So we'll see.
Yeah, I haven't messed with any of those yet.
I cooked all mine on male. So far, so good. I only have one that appears to have a little bit of the syndrome. The two emerine ones are perfectly fine so far. They're eating well. The two little tangerine ones, sometimes I'll see a little bit of a head tilt. One of them I think had some incubation issues because he has kind of a weird leg. But as far as, not seeing any crazy spinning or rolling or, everybody seems to be eating, nothing severe. So we'll see. Fingers crossed it stays that way because I know it could pop up at any time. So I just try to keep them calm. And my Enigma male is like the nicest gecko that I have. He has no syndrome. He's completely chill, just content to sit on your lap. He doesn't move. The animals don't bother him. He's a really chill animal. So I like their demeanor a lot. So I hope they do okay.
Yeah.
Morgan, you still there, buddy?
Of course I am.
Making room for those frogs you're going to send them.
Right. I know Morgan's box is getting bigger and bigger by the day.
I know. I don't know. Someone's going to...
Well,
I don't know, man. We'll have to think about what goes in that box, especially if the frilled dragon's gone.
Yeah, I know. We're going to need a big box for her.
Yeah.
And you live out in the sticks, so it's expensive to ship.
Yeah.
But she's fine. If you get ready for her, she can come. We can split it up if we need to.
Yeah. We'll figure it out, I'm sure.
You can rent a forklift for a couple hours, I'm sure. Or get one of them trucks that brings it.
Look, I told you guys I cannot ship Komodo dragons. I cannot ship Komodo dragons.
How much is a foot?
A foot?
Komodo dragon's foot?
I think I might get in trouble if I try to cut off my Komodo dragon's foot.
Well, don't they ever bite each other or something?
No, we don't know. And I think there's CITES regulations. You're not even allowed to send animal products like that. So
nothing skin or flesh.
No more koala chunks.
No Komodo dragon meat can be shipped.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy.
All right, well, we're getting to the end of the thing. So, Bryan, you want to leave the kids with some closing remarks, encouragement for breeding and working at a zoo, and
if anybody's ever interested in getting it, what's that?
Nothing. Go ahead, man.
If as far as the zoo thing goes, I like to tell everybody if you're interested in getting in a zoo, go volunteer first. Try to volunteer because oftentimes people have a total misconception of what it really entails to work at a zoo. We're cleaning a lot of poop. We don't play with a lot of animals, and so it's a little bit different. It is a rewarding job. So volunteer first before you commit. That's a pretty good thing. And as far as the leopard gecko stuff, just make friends, ask questions. Try not to, get shunned from groups. And but yeah, I don't know. And don't go too crazy. And they add up very fast. I actually refuse to count how many are in my room right now because I really don't want to know.
Yeah.
Told you so.
You guys warned me.
Yeah.
But,
all right, you guys. Well,
yeah.
thank you guys.
I know my Facebook page kind of sucks. I don't have a computer right now. I'm hoping to get a new computer so I can get a lot of things posted online. I try to post pictures. I'm going to try to get some more stuff up for sale. I know temperatures are kind of crappy, but we'll have to see. But I'm going to get some stuff posted up definitely by, after the first of the year, so we can try to get, some animals moved out for the spring. Kept a lot of stuff held back, some of the higher end stuff, didn't really take it to the show with me. A lot of this marine project will be grown up and hopefully have a few things posted soon. So my Facebook page, Zoo Guy Geckos, you can find some pictures and stuff there. If you ever see anything you like, just PM me and go from there.
Yeah. All right. Thank you for coming on, Bryan.
All right, man.
Yeah, thanks for taking my call.
Yep, thanks for having me, guys.
Yep. All right, we'll talk to you later, guys.
Right. Bye.
Good night, man.
Bye.